Hey everyone, Sir Jellybean here, and today I wanted to talk about Status 1. So I have done a full campaign, so I think I'm in a position to do a decent review on it. And as you know, I'm quite a big fan of the game, but I'm going to give like a nice neutral review. So Status 1 is kind of a cross between Ready or Not meets Door Kickers 2, and it has some good bits and some bad bits. I want to give like a kind of full breakdown of kind of how the game plays, what you do, and things that go on. Obviously, you'll have seen the combat on my channel, which is really cool, and I'll splice some bits of combat and stuff in to kind of show that off. But I also want to go over the kind of game mechanics. Now, this is quite far through a campaign, so we can kind of show off everything. So we'll get into it. Basically, what is the game? The country of, I believe it's Lucentia, that's the actual name, is basically under siege from criminals and military threats and terrorists. And you have to create this new elite, kind of anti-crime task force that also deals with terrorism and military stuff. So basically, it's kind of like a tier 1 task force. And you build it from the ground up. When you first start, you will literally have, wrong thing. You will have your one character on preparation, this guy. You'll have nothing else. These are all wounded from a campaign. And you'll have literally the basic pistol, some armor, pretty much nothing. And you go on your missions by yourself or with probably one guy if you can afford it. And you fight your way and you have to build your team. And that's the big difference between something like this and Door Kickers 2. Because you start as just yourself. Money is limited, resources are limited, and the game is pretty difficult. And that's what I really like. It has that kind of first-person feeling or that kind of RPG feeling because you take part in the battles as well. You aren't just a commander in the field, you actually control the character as well. You go in and you fight, and I'll show some combat footage now.
Proceeding. Copy that. Order carried out. On position. Done. Copy. I'm here. On it.
Want to do this, pal?
Hostile eliminated. Copy. Copy that. Enemy down. Complete. On it. On it. Copy that. On point. On it. Task finished.
Hit the ground.
Done. Roger that. Copy that. Task finished. On point.
Get on
Found
the
something.
fucking ground.
On my way. Copy that. Order carried out.
Hello, hello. So as you can see in the combat footage, you are taking control of the character whilst ordering your team. And that's what I like, because if you go down, the battle can still be won. Your team has a percentage chance, but it really raises the stakes, because obviously you can be really effective. You can go around corners, you can blast things. You're probably a bit more intelligent than the average AI. But the AI, especially on hard difficulty, is very tough, very smart. And as the game progresses, you go from fighting your local gangsters, your gangbangers, your street guys with pistols, SMGs, and no armor, all the way up to military level threats with, full armor, very well, equipped, automatic weapons like machine guns, grenades, and even, I believe, some, you do get like, is there bazookas in this or something? Grenade launchers? I don't know if there is grenade launchers, but there are like armored personnel carriers on the odd mission that'll engage you with like machine guns, spraying positions. There's even booby traps. There's all manner of different things that can take you out. I believe there's booby traps. Yeah, there is. You have to check doors, things like that. You can get attacked by things. And if there isn't booby traps, I think you can just check the doors. I don't, actually, there might not be booby traps, but when you go through a doorway, There'll be people waiting in ambush. The AI is pretty competent. The AI will even retreat if you chuck things like tear gas or flashbangs or try and pull out the room. It is a tough game, and it's designed to be a tough game. You also build your weapon stash up on a bit of a random market. So you get a choice of what's available today in stock. There's also things on sale, and then there's like the basic clothes. There's always the equipment available for these prices. That doesn't change. But obviously, the equipment could be up for, sometimes there's a 20% off sale or a 50% off sale. And it is a bit random, so sometimes there might be really good stuff, sometimes there's not. So there is a little bit of a, oh, today, if you buy this, you've got access to the Artemis V4, it might be 50% off. So that can kind of make the game quite difficult. There's a bit of, randomization, which is nice. Also, your mission selection. Here I've got gangsters. These are the old cartels, drug cartels. And there's even Zenith, which we defeated, which are still active. And you have everything from bomb defusal, hostages, and the amount of suspects you have to arrest or kill. And the emphasis is on taking people alive if you can. So in the early game, when you're fighting one or two hostiles maybe, taking them alive is great. As you get into the later game, especially against the terrorists or the military, it gets really tough. They don't go down easy. Very rare will they surrender. You also get grades and you get paid depending on how well you've done in the mission. So if you don't lose anyone, you don't kill any hostages, you might get an A or an S rank. That's going to pay you sometimes thousands of dollars. Sometimes it'll be hundreds of dollars, which is the currency used. But obviously, things are a lot cheaper than in real life. And you obviously get different outcomes depending on how you've done in the missions and how you do on these kind of set boss missions, which come up. So if you complete so many missions, let's say the gangster, the basic criminals, eventually you get. I had the assault on the police station. As the developers told me though, if you do things a bit differently, you don't always have to do the police station siege. So if you are really effective, I guess, they might not attack the police station. There's different outcomes and different endings to the game, which I think is really good and gives that replayability. I also like the fact that you get different recruits. So when you recruit them, they'll be very basic, like Austin Martin, let's say, level 5. Or this guy, Eric Lee, who's level 1. But as you go through the game, as we'll be able to see on our barracks, on the wounded people, we have all these different stats and levels. And most of these have come basic level 1. I believe I lost some of these guys later in the thing. But people get better. They've gone from being at like the low 30s in most scores. So as you can see, Sean King there, he's quite a low level on stuff. And then you got your elite like Chad Robinson, true Chad. He's in the 70s on everything. So you actually level your team up. You build a bit of a connection with them. And it's really nice to see them grow and get better in game. Also, the weapon choice is amazing. Like right here, I've got it's basically like an A12 kind of shotgun with a drum clip. There are weapon accessories, which I always forget about. But there's everything from SMGs, automatic rifles, shotguns, pistols. You can get riot shields in the equipment, different types of armor. Everything you can more reinforced, and you can go lighter as well because obviously armor can slow you down. So being a bit lighter can be useful for that. But it's really nice that there's so many options. Even grenades. There's tear gas. There's grenades. There's frag grenades, flashbangs. There's so much choice. Even different types of clothing, which I went away from because the campaign was hard. I didn't have many funds spare. And obviously you have the cost of your team, the upkeep every week. But basically you're free to tackle the campaign as you wish. There are different ways of playing. If you want to go, I actually ended up going more long-range automatic weapons, more assault rifles, more firepower. Shields are useful, but actually I've preferred that way. But some people might prefer more SMGs, more flashbangs, more close quarters. It really is up to you. And depending on the enemy, for instance, when you're versing the gangsters, you tend to get a lot more close quarter fighting. Flashbangs will take them out quite easy. When you get up to like Zenith or the cartel or the more military assets, you could have really hard long range fights. Shields won't last as long, so they're getting hit 10 times as much as usual. It's just so much more intense. And this is the thing, the game is just, there was a constant feeling of a little bit like anxiety, but good. So every mission, and obviously you guys couldn't hear it, but my heart was pounding. It was like, oh my God, this is tough, this is tough, this is really tough. Excuse me. And it gives you that feeling of stress, but like a good game, basically the pressure's on because losing one mission makes it really difficult. Losing 2 or 3 and your campaign could be almost down the toilet. It is difficult to come back. So it definitely gave me that feeling of you really want to succeed, and you could tell that in the episodes because I get quite stressed, but I really do like that. And yeah, it's just an all-round fantastic game. And the thing is, it's priced at £12.99, I think, so it's about 1 hour's minimum wage in the UK. Might be cheaper or more expensive depending on your country. But I really like these kind of indie developer studios because 2 guys made this, and in my opinion, it's fantastic. And I'll just say, I bought the game myself. the developers didn't even contact me until I was playing. They didn't know anything about me. I've not been paid anything. I've talked with them a bit, but there's been no financial incentive or anything. I just really like the game and just think so many people would enjoy Status 1. You just have to give it a try. And I would say look on my channel, look at some of the combat videos, look at some of the episodes, and just try it for yourself. Seriously, when it's on, if it's on sale as well, either if you can afford $12.99, you will get your money's worth. I've played one campaign and I'm going to do another one soon. It is really good, so definitely get in there. And what I'll do is now I'll leave you with some combat footage so you can just enjoy seeing what Status 1's like and just kind of watch yourself dig in. I think I've covered all the basics, and you get like a nice tutorial as well. And yeah, it's just a really, really good game, and it is a lot more tactical than it sometimes looks. Obviously, sometimes I fail, but it really matters about the composition of your force and how you use them, and I really like that. Anyway, thanks for watching this, guys, and enjoy the combat footage, and hopefully I'll see you playing Status 1, and good luck in your campaigns. Take it easy.
On it! I got it. Confirmed. Roger that. Confirm. On point.
Drop it now.
On position. On it. Got it. On point. On point. Confirmed. Position reached. Understood. Roger that. Proceeding. On it! On my way. Position secured. Copy. Executed. Understood.